LSU. I'm preparing for Arkansas. I'm preparing for the next game.
There we go, Arkansas, you see. I may be British, but I'm not the only one who gets it wrong. Arkansas, man, I'm going to tell you because all the comments told me. I'm not sorry about that one bit. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's reaction video is the craziest college football season of all time. This has been suggested loads. Literally, when I started making this channel and started doing a few college football and NFL American football reactions, it's been suggested. I remember Horang back in the day suggested it. More recently, I agree with, has been hounding me to do it, which is a good thing, not a bad thing. So shout out to them. There's been so many more of you legends who've been suggested it. I think Akio, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, posted it yesterday in a comment as well, and I was planning on doing it today. So thank you so much, guys. Keeping at me with these videos. Apparently, this video shows why college football is renowned for being such a crazy season, crazy sport. And why it potentially is more exciting than the NFL and a lot less predictable. We'll see. Let's get straight into it. It also has a lot of people told me college football, because it's their schools, people going after uni and stuff like that, it's got more of a kind of a group vibe, and you can't always make it to NFL games because season tickets are sold out and stuff like that. You get more access to these games and they're a lot more exciting for the fans. Now, let's get straight into this video. I'm so keen for this. Hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. I'd really appreciate it. 2 videos a day. One sport, one general one, while working out while 5:30. I'd say that's not bad. I've basically done it since the 11th of November 2020 every single day, guys. I've had a couple of days where I've only uploaded one, but I haven't missed a day yet. Now, let's see what the craziest college football season of all time really is. Let's go. 2007, okay.
In sports history.
2007 was simply the greatest college football season ever played.
Yo, you moved everyone off.
I'm a man. I'm sorry.
With so many twists and turns throughout the season, the best way to be able to tell this story will be through the weekly chronological timeline from the perspective of the polls. Because what ended up happening in 2007 has so much historical significance in relation to the polls. Things that had never happened in the 71-year history of the AP poll were happening on a constant basis throughout.
All I'm saying is, before that image goes, I want to catch it. That image looks beautiful, by the way. That is stunning. Just the emotion, the players, the fans. That's why we love sport, man. Anyway, let's carry on with this. This is gonna be exciting. I can tell. It's well edited already. Just got a vibe about this video, man.
2007.
I think in a year we've had so many upsets in college football. How fitting to have Kansas in Missouri controlling their own destiny, not only for a conference title, but to get to the national title. It's an amazing year.
Welcome to the season kickoff of the Big Ten Network. You look at the Michigan Wolverines are ranked in the top 5, and Charles, when you look at them, especially on offense, there are lots of reasons why.
Everyone remembers this game. Michigan losing at home to lower division opponent Appalachian State.
Wow.
Snaps good. The whole
that sounds big.
Go
on, lad.
Beat the Michigan Wolverines.
Go on.
It's the most famous college football upset of all time, and Michigan suffered major fallout after this game. Let's focus on the short-term effect. They went from a top 5 team and a national title contender to falling completely out of the rankings. In the 71 years the AP poll had been published, this was the largest drop in the rankings ever. Michigan's loss was so embarrassing, it caused ESPN's analyst Lou Holtz to get upset enough that he cursed on live TV.
Oh, wow.
The locker room's completely different. Everybody moaning, pointing fingers, complaining about this, second stringer saying I should play, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, you have no idea how many problems happen in the locker room when you lose.
Well, he wasn't.
Yeah, that's like me when the Super League stuff got announced for soccer, man. Holy. This is why we love sport. The emotion can get the best of you, man.
Wrong. Michigan would get smoked the following week by Oregon.
Wow.
With the most memorable moments being that Statue of Liberty play, followed by the fake Statue of Liberty.
Oh, man, look at that. Let's go.
This is a huge win for South Carolina.
Absolutely mugged.
During the short tenure from Steve Spurrier, this one up for grabs, jump ball, and knocked away. It's picked off by Brinkley.
Woodson from the gun, play fake, step it up. He's throwing deep down the near sideline. He's got Johnson. 20, 10, 5.
This also happened. All about attitude, quarterback. Someone explain that to me, unless they explain a little bit. is somebody kicking off with a bit of attitude, but another upset. 3 weeks in, a lot of upsets. This is anything can happen. I love this. Rankings don't matter at the moment.
Touchdown, Kentucky!
Has time. Going deep. Got a man, and it's broken.
Hey, Michigan finally won.
Jamar Adams just saved the day.
Over the course of weeks 2, 3, and 4, there were a total of 9 upsets. In
Wow.
the grand scheme of college football, this is a pretty normal amount. Things take off, however.
I assume that'd be quite a lot. Never mind, my exaggeration is not enough. I apologise. I was expecting, from what I've learned about college football, is there's a lot of dominant teams who at home do not lose often because there's a lot of colleges and there's a lot of bad colleges compared to the good ones. So I assume 9 was a lot, but apparently not. Okay.
In week 5, when there were 8 top 25 teams who lost. Half of them were in the top 10, 3 of which were in the top 5. Things were starting to get weird. This takes us to our first Cinderella story of the video.
This is one special night.
This is unbelievable, Al.
997,
We're
okay.
about to witness the birth of a college football program behind us.
Back in 1997, the University of South Florida had begun their first season of NCAA football.
Look at that.
Their first team meeting was held under a tree, and they had no real football facilities. Starting off as a Division I AA school, the team quickly grew, and by 2000, the NCAA felt they were ready to make the move up to Division 1A.
Awesome.
Over the course of the next 7 years, they did decent, especially for being recently formed, but not in the grand scheme of major college football. They had never been ranked. That was until week 4 of the 2007 season, where USF entered the polls for the first time. After another win, they moved up 5 spots to number 18. Suddenly, week 5's matchup against number 5 West Virginia had become the biggest game in program history up to that point.
To snap it.
Fair play, man. Let's go. Love an upset, man. Love an upset.
Biggest game in South Florida history. Ends with the biggest win in the
Look
history
at
of this
that.
11-year-old Bulls football program.
That is stunning, man. He said it's good as
The
well,
biggest
man.
crowd in FAU history today, most of them wearing green and gold for the South Florida Bulls.
Just imagine the hype train that the South Florida students were riding. Although this game would be close, USF would win that game, keeping the undefeated season alive.
Wow.
Now, before we continue, I'd like to thank Honey for sponsoring this video.
Fair
First,
play.
what
Get your
is
money,
Honey?
man.
Honey
Fair
is
play.
a free browser extension that automatically finds the best promo codes whenever you shop online.
You know what? I didn't. I'm not sponsored by Honey one bit, but I have given, well, my girlfriend's given this a go before, and it actually worked. And to be fair, she said, the annoying thing was she wasn't going to buy the thing, but she bought it because she got a discount. So technically we kind of lost like 40 quid because we weren't going to buy it. But because we did buy it, if we were going to buy it, we would have saved like 20 quid, which is what? 20 quid's about $30 or something like that. Yeah, about $30 to be fair, $29, $30. So you do save money. But if you're not going to buy the thing anyway and see you can get a deal with it, you don't save money, you technically lose money, but you get something in return. So yeah, give it a go. Get your money, man.
I'm talking the best deals from sites like Amazon, Adidas, Best Buy, Walmart, and over 20,000 more.
Yeah.
For example, I was looking to buy a Browns hoodie, and right when I got to checkout, Honey asked me if they could look for coupons. It ended up saving me just over $25.
There you go.
Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/KTO. It's so easy to install. It only takes 2 clicks. With over 10 million members and over 100,000 5-star reviews, there's no point not to get it. Again, that's joinhoney.com/KTO. Okay, let's go back to week 6 in 2007.
You know, if I ever get a Honey sponsor in the future, if this video's getting taken down or I'm re-editing and going, use Beasley, I don't think we'll ever get a Honey sponsor. I don't think we'll ever get a sponsor, but that's absolutely fine. The interaction of these videos are the best, but you better know I'm coming back to this video if I ever get one.
USC had just been demoted to number 2 in the AP poll behind LSU.
Okay.
At this point, it was a coin flip between who was the number 1 team in the country. Coming up though, LSU had to face a tough Florida team, led by Tim Tebow, while USC had a walk in the park. They played the below average Stanford, who had gone 1-11 the year before and was 1-3 up to this point. USC was favored by nearly 6 touchdowns going in.
6 touchdown favorite. Wow.
Steps up, throws over the middle, pass is
Oh, nice. Come on. Make that history, man.
On the reception, and one official has it inside the 10, and that will be a first down.
Wow.
You know who that is, right? That's the Richard Sherman. He eventually moved to the defensive side of the ball, but before 2009, he was a receiver. And on 4th and 20 in the biggest game of his life up to that
nails
point,
it.
he had miraculously kept his team alive.
To the near side.
He's the middle receiver in the trips down to the bottom.
Oh, it's building.
Richard, straight drop, goes to the fade to the other side.
Oh, let's go, man. Let's go.
Stanford, touchdown, Stanford, my goodness.
Wow.
Just for context of how shocking this was, the year before when these two played, USC blew out Stanford 42-0. Then, a week before this game, Stanford's starting quarterback had suffered a seizure, so the backup, who had only thrown 3 collegiate passes, was to make the start.
Well, the backup was awesome. I hope the quarterback was okay. Let me know in the comments if you know anything about that. I know it was a very long time ago, 14 years ago, but you still don't want to see someone have a seizure and potentially not be around. Hopefully they are. Fingers crossed, man.
Remember that other huge upset earlier in the season? Michigan was favored by 34 points versus Appalachian State.
Okay.
USC was favored by 41 over Stanford.
Wow.
Crazy. While that happened, down in Louisiana, Florida and LSU played in one of the best games all year. This game was the definition of smash mouth football that, for a while, favored Tim Tebow in Florida. But with a couple tricks up the sleeve of Les Miles,
oh, let's go. I love that, man.
turnovers, and grinded out football, LSU completed the 4th quarter comeback to truly solidify them as the number 1 team in the country. What's incredible was going into week 7, USC was still in the top 10 somehow, but there was a new frontrunner in the Pac-10. Cal was ranked number 2, and it's all because 2 weeks prior, they beat Oregon on this play.
With 22 seconds to go, Stewart in the backfield.
Okay, Oregon got the ball.
Dixon, Colvin.
Oh, he dropped it, man.
No signal. Colvin. The official.
Oh, what a fumble.
Yet to make a call. It's got to be something.
Rolling on the field is touchback. Ball is fumbled into and out of bounds in the end zone.
Oh,
that play was absolutely heartbreaking, but it helped catapult the Golden Bears to their highest ranking since 1951. That was when football looked like this. Here's what's also crazy. LSU, who had that close game versus Florida the week before, would play Kentucky in week 7 earlier than when Cal played. After a triple overtime thriller, Kentucky beat LSU in dramatic fashion, which opened the door for Cal to be the number 1 team in the entire nation. Only one problem. Cal's starting quarterback Nate Longshore had been ruled out of the upcoming game just 10 minutes before kickoff. He had been dealing with a nagging ankle injury from the previous week. Still, with guys like Justin Forsett and Deshaun Jackson, Cal was still favored to win. Flash to the 3rd quarter. Cal's losing, but it's 2nd and goal on Oregon State's 1-yard line. They would be stopped not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Wow, man.
Set. No! Oregon State with an incredible stop!
This seemed to be the game's defining moment. Cal didn't give up though. Down by 10 in the 4th quarter, they would score, stop Oregon State, and give themselves another chance to either win or at least go into overtime with the momentum. This is how it all went down.
Now Cal has a shot to go for the win here.
Oh, come on, lad. Oh, you ain't getting there though. You ain't getting there. No, not enough time. Should have gone down, man. Should have gone down.
That last play was a nightmare. It was 1st and 10. All he had to do was throw the ball out of bounds. Instead of throwing the ball away, he actually threw the game away. And Cal would completely fall apart after that game. After starting 5-0 and having a legitimate shot to be number 1, they finished the season 6-6.
Wow, what a choke.
Riley made a huge mistake.
this is where the college football rankings had been officially flipped upside down. Let's just take a look at some of these teams near the top. Hawaii. This was the highest that they had been ranked in the history of their program.
Hawaii, do they? I was about to say, do they have to fly into like actual mainland America for their games? But then I suppose a lot of teams fly to other states anyway for games, because again, it's such a big place. I was thinking like in Jersey in soccer, Jersey have now picked up a football team, a soccer team, sorry. But at the bottom of the pyramid, which, let's not get into the pyramid because this whole Super League thing, if you've heard about it, it's a nightmare, ruining the pyramids. But anyway, they have to fly over to England for their games, and they actually have to pay for teams to fly to Jersey because it's a nightmare for them. So let me know about that, but I imagine most teams fly anywhere in the United States. But let me know, guys.
Kansas had seemingly come out of nowhere. They were historically terrible at football.
Okay.
Now, they were sitting at 6-0. Arizona State was off to their best start in a decade. Kentucky hadn't even been ranked since 1984, just over 20 years. After 2 big-time upsets, they made an appearance in the top 10. Where did Boston College come from? They were led by Matt Ryan, and this was the highest that they had been ranked since before World War II. And now, to top them all, South Florida, who had never been ranked in the history of their program until this year, sat at number 2 in the rankings. Looking at their upcoming schedule, compared to some of the games they already played, the chances of reaching the national championship game were real. People felt that their upcoming game versus Rutgers was probably their toughest one left. If they make it through this game, it was most likely smooth sailing on their way to becoming the most shocking team to make the national title in recent memory.
ECS number 2, out of timeouts, down 3. Perfect season.
Oh, don't do this to me. Please do it, man. I want to see it. Hail Mary.
Fires over the sidelines, a flag down, it's caught. Caught by Amari Jackson. Now we'll check the flag.
Does it count though?
He comes back.
Pass interference. Number 18 offense. Pushing off the defender.
Very subtle push, almost not
necessary. You don't need to do that, man. He was going the wrong way.
On the ball was in a decent position to go get it where everyone can converge on it.
Good, mate.
Standing 30 yards from line of scrimmage for Rutgers, and Grothy heaves it into traffic.
Game over. Unlucky, man. You gave it a good go.
This Cinderella story got ugly. Real ugly.
On this play.
Oh, that's the thing, innit? Once you've lost one, you go down the rankings, you lose your confidence, it all just unveils, you lack energy because you're deflated from the loss. It just unravels. Don't tell me they go 6-6. Don't tell me they lose 6 in a row.
End zone, incomplete. UConn takes over.
They disappeared pretty quickly.
Wow.
But to go back to that Week 8 loss against Rutgers, people started to notice a particular trend. This had marked 3 weeks in a row that the number 2 team in the nation had lost.
Oh, the
so the burning
number.
question that swept the nation, will it continue? Well, in Week 9, it sure looked like it. After going scoreless the entire game, they would score a touchdown, went for an onside kick, got it, then drove down the field to set up this.
Chance here to force overtime. 10 to 12 yards is what you're looking for right now if you're Matt Ryan.
10 to 12 yards is all you need, man.
Plenty of time. Cannot take a sack here. Ryan will fire.
Oh, my
goodness. Oh! Touchdown. His calendar.
Yo, that was sick. What a pick. Yeah, that number 2 is not cursed one bit. That was insane. Wow.
And Lane Stadium goes silent.
That pass by Matt Ryan was unbelievable. Boston College had broken the trend.
Oh, man. Only just broke it.
On this 2nd down and 7.
Intercepted. That could do it. And that will spell doom probably for another number 2 team.
Okay, maybe the number 2 curse just had a week off and went, yeah, Boston, you can win another, but next week we're getting you, man, and they got him back. The 2 is cursed. Definitely cursed.
What is it about number 2 this year?
Wow, man. Losses after losses.
Wildcats bring pressure off the edge. Dixon will just fall down now.
Wanted to try a shovel
Oh,
pass.
not
There was
good.
traffic and
Yo, ACL injuries are awful, man.
perhaps some miscommunication, and now Dixon holding his knee. There was no contact. He just crumpled on the ground.
Yo, that number 2 is a
Dixon doesn't
nightmare.
get hurt, Oregon probably wins out, and there's a good chance that he may have won the Heisman Trophy, and the Ducks most likely would have been playing in the national championship. Instead, they become the 5th number 2 team in 7 weeks to lose.
Mental.
No one knows what's going on at this point. Anyone who gets to the top immediately goes down. The week before Oregon lost, number 1 Ohio State would lose at home to unranked Illinois. I just
Wow.
remember watching their quarterback, Juice Williams, tear up the Buckeyes defense. This seemingly ended Ohio State's hopes and dreams of returning to the national title. This loss should have been more shocking, but this is the 2007 college football season we're talking about. Nothing was going to shock us at this point.
Anything happens, man.
We welcome you to what certainly could be the game of the year. With Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Brent Musburger. Folks, let this sink in. If either Kansas or Missouri wins their next 2 games, they will play for the national championship.
To anyone who had
Wow.
been watching college football for a while, this just felt bizarre. Let me try to explain how weird this is. These two are rivals, which had been going on since 1891. Keep
Okay.
in mind, this goes back to before cars were invented. Since
That's a long time away, man.
these two started playing football, this was the highest Missouri had been ranked since 1960. And this was the
Damn.
highest that Kansas had ever been ranked. So this had easily become the best matchup in nearly 120 years. Before the season, some thought that Missouri may be decent. I mean, no one expected them to be near the top 5, so that was a pretty big surprise. But Kansas? Are you kidding me? Just look at that stat. That is one of the most ridiculous stats that you'll ever see.
Wow, man.
Oh yeah, number 1 LSU lost again in triple overtime. How many times is that gonna happen? So now, the winner of this...
Yeah, that must be ultra rare to have triple overtime anyway. Never mind more than once in a season. And someone did point out to me that they call this Arkansas at some point in the video. And this may be it, because it's the first time I've seen Arkansas.
Overtime. How many times is that kidding me? Just look at that stat. That is one of the most ridiculous
That is
stats
ridiculous,
that
by
you'll
the
ever
way.
see. Oh yeah, number 1 LSU lost again in triple overtime. How many times is that gonna happen? So now...
Okay, didn't mention Arkansas. Okay, there is somewhere in this, and I'm trying to pick it out, because I'm not the only one who will get Arkansas wrong, guys. I may be a Brit. I'm not the only one. I will try and pick it out. I'm listening for it, because I have been told.
The winner of this Kansas-Missouri game would be the number 1 team in the nation. And
Wow.
would end up playing the following week in the Big 12 championship. They win that game, they play in the national title.
Not bad. Oh, great block. Nice.
Straight back. Throws middle. Intercepted on the defense.
Kansas are getting battered, man. Number 2 again.
It's pretty amazing fourth quarter in the Jayhawks. In trouble. There's a safety.
Game over, man.
36-28.
He's
I don't know how
counting
I
a
didn't
bush
see
on his
this
helmet.
coming. Kansas was number 2. You can't win in 2007 if you're number 2.
West Virginia sideline, guys, it's quiet. There are very few people up doing a rah-rah. Owen Schmidt just tried to yell at the guys in the huddle, but it's flat. Not much sense of urgency right now for West Virginia.
For the first down. Brown. That's a lost the ball. He has it.
You can't write it. You cannot write it. Another number 2 ranked team losing. You can't write this. Wow.
Panthers have pulled a stunning upset.
Man, this one was rough. West Virginia was favored by 28.5 points. Missouri would also end up losing. In fact, they got crushed by Oklahoma.
Wow.
Listen to this stat. The number 1 and number 2 team had only lost in the same weekend 4 total times in the previous 10 years.
Holy.
In 2007 alone, it had happened 3 times in the last 8 weeks.
That's incredible. That, like, when you think about it like that, it is incredible. So many upsets. And just this number, the ranked 2 curse, is mental.
I guess no one was more pleased with all these upsets than LSU and Ohio State.
Okay.
Sure, Ohio State got burned by Illinois a few weeks prior, but because of so many improbable upsets, they were back to number 1. and now LSU. Talk about one of the most wild rides ever.
35. Matt Flynn will hold.
Mugged! Let's go! Love that.
Trying to stop the clock for his own offense. 3rd and 7. And Flynn is back to throw for the end zone.
Oh my God. Seconds left to win it. Let's go. LSU, fair play. Fair play.
That is the call of the year.
LSU's season was magical. Besides all the crazy plays, they lost in triple overtime. Twice. The second loss seemed to be the nail in the coffin. No team in the BCS era had made it to the championship with 2 losses, let alone losing just a week before conference championship weekend. But 2007 has proven to be a first for everything. Although it seemed like luck had gotten LSU to this point, in the actual national title game, it was anything but.
At the end of the day, if you're in that position, people will say luck, but you've got to be in it to win it. If you've put yourself in a position where you've won the games you need to win, yes, you may have lost some, but you carried on in the other games to win them, like that last touchdown. It's not luck, it's just the way it's played out. It means the other teams haven't been good enough. That's all I'm saying. You've got to create your own luck in sport. Luck is a skill. I know obviously it isn't always, but a lot of time it's a skill. If LSU had got them 2 losses and gone, well, no one ever gets to the championship game after your 2 losses and don't win the rest of their games, no one's calling them lucky because they don't make it there. You get me? They've got to create their own luck, and I love that.
Play fake one way, Flynn rolls, dumps it off to early.
Go on, lad.
And he's
Battering LSU.
dances into the end zone. Well, congratulations to the LSU Tigers, the 2008 All-State BCS National Champion.
Fair play.
And there you have it. In the most unpredictable season of all time, you have your first 2-loss national champion since 1960.
Wow.
Football for LSU. I'm preparing for Arkansas. I'm preparing for the next game.
There we go. Arkansas, you'd see. I may be British, but I'm not the only one who gets it wrong. Arkansas, man, I'm going to tell you because all the comments told me. I'm not sorry about that one bit.
In the next game after that.
Oh, by the way, I'm not actually sorry. It's all bad.
Please ask me after. I'm busy. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Coach.
Other notable moments included Tim Tebow winning the Heisman, Hawaii and Illinois making it to BCS Bowls, and both getting crushed. Kansas finishing 12-1, and just for context, by 2009 they were back to their losing ways. And lastly, West Virginia stomped Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. Man, it really was West Virginia's year. Of all the upsets that happened in 2007, their loss versus Pitt may have stung the most.
Yeah.
On Pitt's bus after the game, their quarterback apparently started singing the famous song by John Denver.
West Virginia. Wow.
We will see one of those X factors in this football game right now. Britton Colquitt.
Okay.
One of the finest punters in the country up against the #1 return man, Deshaun Jackson.
And does he punt to him? I think he has the confidence to say, I'm going to punt right to him.
You'll never see a Colquitt back away. Here comes the shot.
Go on, lad. Oh, shake and bait indeed.
Look at this guy.
Go on. Oh my God, man. What a beast!
Oh, baby.
Wow! That is the end of the video. What a fantastic video. I don't know if you guys could tell, but I really enjoyed that one. That was absolutely awesome. I can see why you guys prefer at times college football and NFL. That was absolutely insane. And hopefully we have more seasons like that, because I would definitely check that out. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I really have. I hope you guys hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. The energy is always the same. We do 2 reactions a day, sport reaction, a general reaction, and we just have fun. And that's what the community is about. Oh wow. What a video. Thank you guys for suggesting it. So many of you legends. I'm sorry I never got to it sooner, but I'm glad I finally got to it. Have a fantastic day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.